everyone, and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the Club Oceania Tournament. This video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go! Before we're going to take our first shot, you can see in the video description down below direct links to the specific holes in this round. So if you just want to watch hole 7 or you want to watch hole 8 or hole 5, doesn't really matter. You can just press on the time in the video description, you will get directly to that. So we're going to go over the expert holes here. Expert is going to be a division that's going to be needed a good score. I would say like you need towards a minus 30 to be able actually to win the tournament. And that is not something that you do every day, but I'm going to definitely show you some pointers here on how to at least give yourself the best opportunity to do so. First, we're going to play with a Kingmaker here. If you do have some Berserker to spare, then you can play with a Berserker instead of a Kingmaker, then you will get more distance. But it's definitely possible to play with a power 3 ball here. We're going to go with 4 bars of side spin, and we're going to go with 3.5 bars top spin. Have in mind that you do not want to use too much top spin here, because that will possibly take you over the green and put yourself in the water. We're going to stretch out our adjustment and go, and then we're going to adjust 3 rings from that position. Then we're going to go, as you can see, slight amount of curl, and then we're going to hit it 80% overpower, like 20% from max overpower. That will give us that push that we want with overpower, and it's going to give ourselves that roll to the green that we do want to. Sure, we could stay away from going with that top smooth. As you can see, our bounce was just over the rough, and we kind of want to have that bounce, otherwise we're going to have a very tough time. So as you can see there, we're going to make an, I would say, it's going to be an easy eagle for us, as we're going to pot it in. It might look hard to go on the island. Of course, if you do not want to, then you can play on the right side. But I do believe if you're going to go for the eagle and you do want to go for the win in the tournament, then you need to play over the island. So as you go 80% overpower, and then we go with 3.5 bar top spin, 4 bars to side spin to the right, and then you choose the driver that do has the most distance. If you do have an Apocalypse level 5, level 6, level 7, an expert here, then you're going to play with 240 yards, and we only have 236 with extra mile, level 8. So, but in the end, it's going to work nonetheless. Let's go. So let's go for hole number 2, and now it's rough bump time. So the rough bump is definitely going to be applied here, and in the end, we need to make a good drive. That is important. So we're going to play with our extra mile here, level 8, and we're going to go with, as you can see, we're not going to win max top spin. We're going to go with 5 bars top spin only, and as much side spin to the left as possible. And as you can see on our landing position, on our yellow marker there, then we are just adjusting there in the middle of it. The reason for that is that we want to counter for great to the right side, we want to counter for great on the left side as well. Then we're going to adjust 4 rings, 4.2 rings from that position, and we're going to go with no curl whatsoever. The reason we adjust it a little bit more is as this ball is going to be affected a little bit more by the wind as we're playing downhill, but even we are not in max distance of our club, therefore we're not going to adjust it more than just like 0.2, 0.3 rings more than we need to. So, okay, and now we're going to have a really good opportunity here. I'm going to play with the long iron. The thing that you want to go with is either going to play with the long iron in a like kind of a medium maximum distance of your club, or you want to play with the wood club in minimum distance. So you're going to see me going for that rough bump, and I'm going to explain a little bit about that shot because you need to adjust it a little bit differently than you might be used to. So, and I hope the tournament has been going well for you. If you have already played qualifier, please make a comment in the comment section below. Tell us the score. It's just awesome. So, okay, archer now I'm going to go with the Goliath. The Goliath gives us some distance here, but we do want to, it doesn't really matter which club that we're going to have. As you can see, we are basically going to be in max distance here. So we're going to be in like 80% of club, like 80-85% of a club. Going to go with almost 1 bar of topspin, not 1 bar completely, but 0.8, 0.9 in topspin, no side spin whatsoever. We're instead going to choose to move our ball guide line to the edge of the cup on the right side. And now we're going to under adjust here. We're going to under adjust it just a tiny little bit and only go with 4.5 rings from this position. 4.5 rings is going to put ourselves nicely there towards the pin. We're getting very, very close to make an albatross, and this is definitely a hole where we're going to see a lot of not a lot, but we're going to see some albatrosses. Have in mind, like when you're going to adjust your for your club, then you need to slightly under adjust as what it says on the guide. That is something that you need to have in mind, otherwise you're going to miss on the right side because you're going to over adjust it. So our opponent here is going to have, of course, a hard time, you know. Going to be a very hard time. If you put yourself in the rough, it's going to be a very hard time for you to reach for the green into. Then the only thing that you actually can do is to put yourself over there and then go for a wedge for the pin for your third shot. And of course now in the rough again, it's going to be very, very tough. So we're going to pot it in, we're going to take the eagle and be happy with that actually. But of course we would love to have an albatross. So good to have an albatross because the tiebreaker in the tournament. So we're going to go to hole number 3. Hole number 3 in my opinion is going to be a birdie hole. Sure, we will see some people making a hole-in-ones, but it's not going to be consistent, as you need to rely on the bounces that you will get on that bumpy fairway here. We are going to play it on the tip of the fairway. Our opponent here is going to play it a little bit differently. Going to use oceanic ball, going with backspin and try to bounce on that platform there. I don't believe that is the best way to play the hole, as I don't feel it's going to be consistent enough with the bounce. If you just go a little bit too short, and you're going to have trouble, because that could put yourself to the left or you could put yourself to the right, and especially now hitting great as well, it's going to get like a weird bounce. Now it bounces and gets short instead, and now it's going to be an easy wedge for the pin. But as you can see there with the bounce, it didn't affect or it didn't bounce as the ball guy would tell us, and therefore we're definitely going to play it a little bit differently. We're going to use the ball guide line on our sniper. We're going to go with an Oceania ball. We are in minimum distance of our club, but we're going to adjust as we would be max distance. So we're going to adjust 5.6 rings, as we do have 1 mile per hour per ring with our sniper. 1 bar side spin to the left, just counter for the slight push that we're going to get to the right. So 5.6 rings, and then we're going to go, as you can see, we're just touching the arrows on the left side there. But as you can see, we're going a little bit too much there to the left, so we need to stay away from the curl. So take away that slight baby curl that we did get, then we're going to be even closer. But in the end, I take this shot all day and every day. I'm going to be happy to make a birdie with that result. And with a bit luck, then maybe we're going to have a hole-in-one on hole number 3. Big topper time. So this shot can be applied like with whatever level you do have on your big topper. Of course, if you're going to have a big topper level 3, 2 or 1, then it's going to be a bit harder, as you're going to have to max overpower whatever level you have on the big topper. And with the top spin, you're going to reach over. We have big topper 5 here. It's definitely going to be a club that is good. We're going to adjust for wanting to be on the middle, like the bounce on the middle of the fairway. We're not using max overpower, as you can see. We'll basically use like 70% of overpower, and we're still going to bounce just there on front, which is absolutely perfect. Max topspin, and we're going to roll, and we're going to roll, and we're going to roll. Let's go. So the reason I'm using the big topper instead of using another driver is because we do want to have the top spin. Like that max top spin is perfect on this hole, because that will give us a way to go directly to the green. If you're having a Thor's hammer level 6 or level 7, then I will go with a Thor's hammer level 6 or level 7. Gives us that we don't need to overpower that much, and it also gives us an enormous amount of top spin. If you do not have like any other type of club like the Thor's hammer or a maxed out Apocalypse, then it is the big topper to go with to put yourself close to the green. Have in mind that the accuracy of the big topper is not good at all. With going to be hard for you to, like, if you hit your overpowered shot good, to either left or right side. But that is something that you need to risk, in my opinion, to try to go for the Albatross. Now we're going to miss this one, which is a bit unfortunate actually, because this is a wedge that we should be sinking like 10 out of 10 times. This time we do miss, but in the end you can see how good opportunity we do have for an Albatross. And if you can dial that one in, that drive shot, and have a wedge or you have a short iron towards the pin, it's going to be like absolutely perfect for you to have that opportunity for an Albatross, give you a good tiebreaker. So as you can see there, I was very it was very important for me when it came to using that Berserker there. It was very important for me to stay away from having to max overpower, because I did have some tailwind. So that is something that you need to have in mind. You might not have to overpower even the big topper, even though it only had 217 yards. But like I would say, big topper level 1, level 2, level 3, then you need to max overpower that every single time. So if you do not want to play on the island, you might not even have you don't have the big topper, you might just have a low level club in any way. I don't hard to take that example though, but in the end, then you play on the island, or you go on the left side and try to have a different shot, like different with the wood club. So hole number 5 now, and hole number 5 is definitely a hole-in-one hole in my opinion. Good opportunity again. So we have started with a hole number 1 is going to be an eagle hole. Hole number 2, good opportunity for an Albatross. Hole number 3, birdie hole. Hole number 4, it's going to be a good Albatross hole, good opportunity for the Albatross. And now we're going to play with the Goliath here, and the reason I'm using the Goliath is because I do like and I do know the rings really well with the Goliath, and it's going to help me big time while adjusting for this pin. So, okay, we're going to play here, as you can see, with a Kingmaker, 8.8 in wind, basically straight tailwind. We're going to go with 4.2 in backspin, and we're going to go with 2 bars of side spin to the right. As you can see, we're going to go around 1 square to the right of the pin, and we want to have the second bounce just on top of the fringe there. Now we're going to adjust for 4.5 rings, and we should, according to our guide, play 4.8 rings, but we under adjusted 0.3 rings here, so not much, but like we are under going with 4.5 rings, going to give us a good bounce there, exactly where we wanted to, and we're rolling. We're coming in a little bit too hot, or a little bit too much to the right, but in the end we are close to making the hole-in-one. So yes, a tiny tweak, then you will bag that hole-in-one big time, that's for sure. Hole number 6! Hole number 6 with my small thumb. Okay, and another good opportunity here, like we're going to go on the right side here. We're going to play ourselves on the right side. I do think that is that would be the most consistent way, especially the easiest way when it comes to our driver. I don't blame people for having an upgraded driver, like for example an upgraded Apocalypse with a good amount of backspin and also some distance that you might go max curl to the left and max backspin as well, and max overpower, and put yourself on the left side. Give ourselves a bit easier opportunity for the second shot, but that is a tough drive and not going to be applied for everyone. And I don't want to go with a quarterback here. I do want to have a club at least with some distance here, so go with extra mile, max topspin here. Now we will have to have in mind that this ball is going to be affected a little bit more by the wind due to we are playing downhill, so have that in mind. And as you can see, we are supposed to kind of cut the rough here with our drive, but as we're going to have some slight tailwind, then the ball guideline is going to be extended and we should be able to reach over the rough there on the right. So we're going to go with 4.5 rings here, and we're going to adjust it a little bit more on top there. So we are basically going to try to just hit that edge on top there. You can see here we bounce there nicely and we get it perfectly over the rough. Sure, we do risk going in the first rough there, but in the end, we do play a shot that we don't have to overpower, and we put ourselves nice and open towards the pin. And now we're going to have a short iron in mid-distance, and a short iron in mid-distance or minimum distance is going to be a shot that we should be close, especially like when it comes to when it comes to the rough bump. So it's rough bump time again. So many rough bumps. Our opponent here, as being in that situation that he or she was, then the trees is going to be in play, so that is something that we will need to have in mind. Then it's not possible for us to go for the rough bump, then we'll have to try to bounce on that fairway, or we need to curl it big time and kind of throw away the eagle opportunity. And that's why it's important, in my opinion, to find a secure drive, or like a consistent drive that gives you at least an opportunity from the fairway without having the tree line in the way. Because even if we go cut to rough with our drive, we're still going to roll out on the fairway, have an open shot with the long iron instead. Now, okay, medium distance of our club here. So we're going to go with mid numbers here with the thorn level 8. I'm going to go with side spin here actually. So we're going to go with 4.5 bar of side spin. I'm going to use the ball guideline here. And for you that don't have like the ball guideline that you do have on the thorn, then it's important that you see there with the yellow rings, you kind of have half of the red ring on the fairway there. We're going to go with 3 rings, exactly 3 rings. Now when we're having 7.6, we hit it perfect. I'm going to get the bounce here. I'm going to get a perfect roll, not coming in too hard, not coming in too slow. I'm going to bag the eagle here on hole number 6. And we're happy with that, absolutely. So let's go for hole number 7, everyone. Hole number 7 is going to be, again, as to hole number 3, this is going to be a birdie hole in my opinion. I'm going to take a very conservative way. And the reason I'm taking a very conservative way instead of going for the rough bump is that if you slightly missed your shot on going in the rough, then you're going to either get that push from the fringe that no one wants and go and roll over the green completely, or you're going to find yourself stuck in the rough. I don't blame people for trying, but I definitely think this is a better opportunity. You can go with Thor's hammer that do have some good like backspin. We're going to go with the rock here, so sorry, the rocket. I'm going to go with slightly more than 6 rings with the rocket. I'm going to want to bounce here on the fairway. I'm going to bounce over. We're using a little bit too much backspin, but in the end we do have the right line towards the pin. Have in mind that you need at least 6-7 bars to do this shot, like backspin. And that is because we do have headwind, and the headwind will of course help us big time to get the ball to stop in a nice way. Our opponent's going to have the quarterback, and the quarterback is possible to play with as well. And the reason I choose the rocket was to show you that the rocket could be actually applied, especially if you're having a low level of quarterback and you might just having a rocket and you have a better backspin when it comes to the rocket instead of quarterback. But as you can see, it's going to be possible to play with that one as well. And you're going to play your driver in minimum distance of your club, especially if you're playing with a power 3 ball. But here you can play with basically whatever ball. You're still going to be able to adjust for it in a nice way. But hole number 7 is a birdie hole. Don't pay that much attention to it. So be happy with the birdie and go from there. So I'm going to put it in here for the birdie and going to focus on hole number 8, because hole number 8 is going to give ourselves a good opportunity for an eagle again. And we're going to play that drive conservative. I'm going to explain that why as well when it's time to start. So, and as I said in the beginning here, you can check the video description down below and you can see direct links to every specific hole. You can also see some links to other guides that has been made for the Club Oceania Tournament. Also check out the new video on Golf Clash on YouTube page. That is the how to choose the right club that I'm proud to have been producing together with Golf Clash and Playdemic to show you the importance in how to choose the right club. So we're going to go now to hole number 8 here, and it's going to throw away hole number 7. So let's go with hole number 8. So as I said, hole number 8 is going to give us a little bit, oh, I didn't say that, but hole number 8 is going to give ourselves some decent wind when it comes to getting some tailwind, and you're going to have to have in mind that sometimes you're going to get more tailwind than you're going to get crosswind, and sometimes you're going to get more crosswind and going to have tailwind. So I'm going to play it very conservative for you and show you in a really good and easy way how you can dial in your short iron. So let's go for hole number 8. So first and foremost, we're going to see our opponent here making the drive, and he's going to try to go for it, and I don't blame him to do so, as he's going to have, as you can see on the arrow there, is pointing more tailwind from this distance here than the other than we are going to have, and this wind is definitely the wind that we want to have. That will allow us to be able to go directly onto the fairway to bounce over towards the green. But if we're not having that opportunity, then the wind is going to decide what we will have to do. So you can see here he's reaching far actually when it comes to a Titan. So with a Berserker it should be able to clear the rough as well. And it is risky to go on the left side, but it's also could be rewarding if we're going onto the green directly. But it needs a driver with some good distance. You can see on the arrow that we are having now, we are having more crosswind than our opponent had, especially more crosswind than tailwind. And therefore we're going to play left side. You can see here with a Berserker, with that tailwind that our opponent had, we should be able to clear the rough there and kind of have a good chance to bounce it onto the green. Max side spin, 3 bars of topspin. I'm going to adjust this extra mile as we would be in max distance of our club. So therefore we're going to go with 3.5 rings. Slight amount of curl, like baby curl to the left, so kind of just letting the ball touch the arrows on the left. You can go with a little bit more if you want to stay away, like, and really count to 4 if you're going to hit your ball great on the right side. Now, okay, now we're going to have a short iron in medium distance, and therefore we're going to adjust it exactly as it would be in medium, like when exactly as medium distance, exactly with the numbers. I'm going to use a slight different approach that you might be used to. Our opponent here is going to go with the sandwich here, and it's a little bit unlucky because he's going to hit it perfect, and he's over adjusting this sandwich shot a lot, counting for the ball to be affected more by the wind than it should be. Have that in mind when going with those close range shots, like from the rough, from the sand, that the ball is most likely not going to be affected that much, because you're not having that much distance to play with. Okay. We're going to play on the fairway here. We're not going to play on the green. We're not going to play on the fringe. We're going to play on a flat surface, which is the fairway here. We're going to go with 1 bar of backspin. As you can see here, we're going to be in a medium distance of our club. Going to let the ball guideline just to be on the left side of the pin, just slightly left side of the pin. And now we're going to adjust this for being, as I said, in medium distance. I'm going to go with 3.85 rings, like 3.9 rings. And not going to go with any type of curl whatsoever. We'll hit it perfect. And we have no side spin either. And let it bounce nicely there to the pin for another eagle on hole number 8. So that is a conservative way to play, but it's definitely going to be a good way to play. So if you're not feeling to gamble, then that is a way to be dialed in. So, okay, now we're going to go to hole number 9. You're going to see 2 versions of hole number 9. The first version is going to be played with a Berserker, as we're going to try to go as far as possible with our drive. We're risking a lot when it comes to a lot of water there, but in the end, it could be very rewarding and give ourselves a close shot to the pin. Then the second approach that we're going to make, that is going to be after we have done this first try. Then we're going to play a bit more conservative. So, okay, we're going to bounce. As you can see, we're just hitting the bunker there, but rolling off. And now we're going to find ourselves in a situation where we're going to have a long iron towards the pin. And then it's important that you pack a Saturn, but we don't. We pack the Goliath. So it's going to be, as you can see, a drive that is risky. Because if you do hit that drive too much to the left, like great on the left side, or you hit it too much great on the right side, then you put the water in play. And you definitely have all the bunkers in play as well. But sometimes, if you do not feel comfortable going with like a conservative drive, that you feel that is even riskier, then go for full blast and gamble that one, take a wedge from the sand if so, and put yourself easily on the green. Our opponent is going to go on the right side here, and this is going to be a shot that is going to be a little bit too hard it seems, but no! It's going to stop, so this is absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect. So our turn now, and now we're going to go with the Goliath here, but as you can see, we're not having the backspin to play this shot that we're going to play. As you can see here, the ball guy line is going to push us more, and the 10.8, like with a slight type of tailwind, is not going to help either. So therefore, the Saturn is going to be a better club here. But now we're going to play one of the shots that, one of the better shots I've done in a while, to be honest. We're going to play and adjust this one as we would be in max distance, as we're going to drag our club there, but we're going to take away one ring and going to go with 4.5 rings, and now we're going to go with almost max curl to the left, combined with max backspin and as much side spin as possible. We'll get the bounce, we'll get the bounce, we'll get the bounce, and we'll get the albatross. That is not a shot that is hard, that is a hard shot to replicate, but I suggest you go with a long iron with a good amount of backspin, because that in the end will allow you to go directly onto the green. Then you don't have to be like that technical with your second shot. And sure, we're happy with an albatross, that's for sure. Now, the second time we're going to play hole 9. Now we're going to play conservative. So we're going to pack the quarterback. And we're going to play with Kingmaker here. Max side spin and 3 bars of top spin is the thing that we're going to go with. And as you know, we do have 100% accuracy with the quarterback, which is going to be 1 mile per hour per ring in max distance. We're going to adjust this one as it would be downhill, as this shot is downhill. So we're going to adjust this shot for being like, as you can see there, 9 rings in total, which is 1.2 more. So we're over adjusted around 15% of our of the normal shot. We're going to go in max curl with the quarterback, and as you can see, as you remember, we do have max side spin, we do have the top spin as well, and we're going to roll ourselves nice and easily on the left side there. The thing that we do want to do here is that we do want to bounce on the island, have a straight shot using the straight tailwind that we're having, and playing like 2 easy shots, but give you a very good time, or like a very good approach towards an albatross. And again, like you have seen a more aggressive way, and now we're going to see a more conservative way. Please let me know in the comment section below if you do want to see more of those, like, because some of the holes in specific tournaments can be played aggressively, and it can be played conservative as well, and you can basically play whatever. It's all about what you feel confident with, because as you can see, even though we play it conservative on hole number 8, we're going to have a really good chance to drop that one from distance, and then instead of risking, then you know. So okay, our opponent is going to go into the bunker here, and that is a risk that you do take if you play that drive with like too little curl. Therefore, we're using the quarterback. He gives us the control and gives us a lot of curl. We're going to be in minimum distance of our club, and we're going to adjust our club for being in a minimum distance as well. So we're going to go with 1 bar of backspin, or like almost like 0.6, 0.7 bars of backspin. And now we're going to apply some side spin to the right as well. We'll have to have in mind that the ball guide line is going to be extended, so it doesn't really matter that we cut the rough there on the green, because we're still going to have a longer bounce as we're going to have tailwind. So we're going to adjust this shot for 7.4. I'm going to adjust it for a little bit less than 3 rings, 2.8, 2.9 rings. And we're adjusting for being a minimum distance of our club, getting it to bounce. And it seems like we're adjusting a little bit too much, but we're getting it very close. So, a conservative way and an aggressive way for hole number 9. So my friends, thanks a lot for watching this video. Please make a comment in the comment section below. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button on the channel. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and here in the end I want to wish you the best of luck in the Club Oceania Tournament.